right now, so because she's a busy lady, and I just want to introduce you to her, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Serena, man. How you doing?
You know, I'm blessed and highly favored, Captain.
You
It's
already know.
Saturday. We
You
made it
al-
through the week.
yeah, you already know you blessed. I've been blessed ever since I met you. You know,
Yes,
that's
amen. Right back at you.
yeah, that's why I always have to bring you on the show to let people know that you got to count your blessings and you got to name them. That's the old gospel song. Yeah, I didn't make that up. Like I stole it.
Oh, yeah. Who was that? The Williams brothers.
Yeah. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings and see what God has done. And, I was very impressed when I first met you because when I met you, you came over to the studio and you brought the kids. And,
Right.
man, they was very, very impressive the way, how they carried themselves. I mean, I've had adults in the studio and I couldn't get them to shut up. But they were so, mannerly, and then when I asked them questions and they articulated very, very clearly. And I credit that not only to you, but to their parents as well, because their parents allowed you to be in your care. And that's the thing that sometimes people don't understand when it comes to selecting people that oversee their children when they're at work or at school or, whatever, they have to leave their child with somebody. The most precious gift that they will ever have in life is their children. And I am honored to say that they are blessed to be in your care. I've been to your Heavenly Heart place with some of the activities you have put on, but I want you to, tell the audience a little bit about what you do at Heavenly Heart and all the things, that you're trying to accomplish as well.
Well, again, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to share today. And pretty much, Heavenly Hearts Impact Center is a place for the community to come and get whatever resources that they need. We do provide childcare services for children 6 months all the way to 12 years and 11 months.
Mhm.
That's year round. So we do before and after care during the school year, as well as nursery and preschool. And then for the summer, we have like our summer camp where we bringing in different activities outside of our normal rotation and more culturally enriching activities that the children can participate in so that during the summer the learning can continue. And we also, provide tutoring for them so that they can stay on task with the things they had been learning at school during the year, so that over the summer all those things don't just kind of, leave from their mind. So there we also provide wraparound services for their parents. We do home buyer workshops. We have a fair housing workshop coming up next. No, it's on the 19th. Actually, it's a Friday evening. That's going to be with one of our community partners, the Urban League of Southampton Roads. They're going to be facilitating that in the space that we have, and it's free, open to the community, as well as the parents, of the students that we service at our daycare. Outside of that, we offer drone aviation technology. Last year, we started the program and we were able to help over 40 people in the community receive their trust recreational pilot's license. And this year, we're happy to announce that we'll be taking it a little bit further and helping participants earn their actual Part 102 commercial pilot's license so that they'll be able to be paired with different workforce opportunities with that particular skill set. Outside of that, pretty much just, we're here to serve. We're here to give the community a safe place to come and learn. Like you said, a safe place to bring their children if they have to work, a place where they don't have to be worried about, that particular thing.
Mhm.
Because it's hard for parents to work if their minds are constantly, on the safety and the well-being of their children.
Yeah,
So we
yes.
want to take away all of that worryation and just, allow the parents who fit with our program the opportunity to work with the peace of mind. And they know when dealing with Miss Serena, who knows what the children might end up doing, but it's always going to be something safe. We do a lot of stuff in the community. So during voting time, I take the children with me to the voting polls so that they
Mhm.
can learn about um, that particular thing in the community. A lot of people are not exposed to politics. Even there's adults that I know that know nothing about politics.
Mhm.
Myself, I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that it's important to introduce it to the children and make sure that they have some concept of it because those are our future leaders.
Mhm.
So we always encourage them to just remember all of the people who made sacrifices so that we could have equality during voting. And that's something that the parents may not teach their children, but it's something that we definitely teach them here. Outside of that, with leadership and just being active in their community and understanding what's going on, understanding how the process of developing, a campaign for something that you believe in. These are the type of things that we, teach the children that's within our care. Outside of that, we may go to the car wash. We take the children with us to the car wash so that way they can learn how to keep things clean. If they're in the daycare van, they're dropping food and, leaving trash, then they have to understand that you have to clean that up. And that's a life skill that a
Mhm.
lot of people also don't understand. Your children don't automatically one day just in their head it pops up, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. No, if you don't incorporate life skills in the upbringing of your children, they're not going to have those skills. That's why you wonder why you see children that take trash and just throw it on the ground and keep moving.
Yeah.
It's never been instilled in them that I have to clean up behind myself. There's no one that's going to come and be responsible for me, and not cleaning up. So those are kind of things that we take on. Just this past weekend, I took a couple of my students with me to the Something in the Water pitch competition.
Okay.
And this was two young people that got the chance to get up and stand in front of over 2,000 people and to speak. There's
Mhm.
grown people that I know that would not have been able to stand up and speak in front of that many people with
Mm.
articulation and with precision and accuracy. And that's
Right.
because we're always doing events. You've been to some of the events we've done. We've done fashion shows where I
Yes.
let the children come out and they are the ones who run the show, from being the MCs to being the greeters to being, the marketers. These children learn how to put these kind of programs together while they're in the daycare, and we don't leave anybody out from the smallest baby up until the oldest child.
Mhm.
Everybody has a part to play. And I attribute a lot of that, from what I experienced when I was in church, because in
Mhm.
church, that's what we had to do. We had youth days where we had to come in, we had to, greet the people, we had to do the welcome address, we had to introduce the speaker, we had to, usher and provide hospitality, all these different things. So everything that I have learned, I just try to impart it into my kids and different opportunities. We've done basketball tournaments where the children were able to raise money for scholarships. We've given out awards to, men and women that are doing great services in the community. And the children help me with selecting these people. The children help in just every aspect. I also do real estate investing. I bring the children with me to some of the properties that I have and I show them this is what Miss Serena does outside of taking care of you guys. This is how I made extra money to take care of my family. And sometimes with my older students, I'll give them a job. If I have a house that needs to be cleaned out, I'll give them, money and they'll come clean up and they love it. They're learning at 8, 9, 10 years old how to generate money, how to generate income, and not just how to generate it, but they're learning about credit. They're learning about the difference between being a lender and a borrower, the ups
Mhm.
and downs, the different benefits of both sides of it. So I just say all that to say with our program, it's just very robust. It's not your traditional idea of just, oh, I'm going to go drop my kid off. They're going to be, sitting in this one place all day long and I'm not really sure what they're learning. They're learning
Mhm.
everything that I know, in short. Everything that I know about credit, about business, about community, about being a servant, about, just life. That's what I'm teaching these children. And so at the Heavenly Hearts Impact Center, like I said, we're just here for the community, for the children and their parents, and other people as well, that we can just let our light shine. That's our whole goal, to let our light shine, to be able to be a resource.
Yes, and like I said, is I've been to several events with you, and you brought them over when I was at WODU's Old Dominion University studio, and I'm like, is these kids or these adults? you
These
know.
two, and see, the thing significant about that, and I thank you for the opportunity. A lot
Mhm,
of the children that I serve, they come from families where people have not went to college. So for them to be able to have come to the studio on
mhm,
a college campus, we ate inside the food court and we walked around.
mhm.
That's a culturally enriching opportunity for those kids, that they can understand that there is life outside of when I finish with where I am in elementary school. I
Yeah.
could come to a university like this. I could be like this man, Captain 85, that I could run a show. And since then, I have the children, when we have stuff, they want to step up. They want to be the ones who are commentating and interviewing. And I
Mhm,
tell people, you just never know who you have in your group. You
mhm.
never know. So, I know that my program is definitely cut from a different cloth. I know that
Yep.
I'm not like most people that do childcare. I know that the things that we implement is not like what most programs offer. So I'm okay with that though. And I teach the children that it's okay to be different. You don't have to be just like everyone else. You don't have to try to fit into other people's molds. So,
Mhm.
in doing that and providing these activities, we're keeping the children engaged and off the streets.
Yes.
And that's the
Yeah.
most important thing.
And you hit the nail on the head, keeping them out of the streets and active and opening their mind to things that they may never have explored unless they were with you. And
Right.
that's why because you articulate better than me. That's why I always like, let me see if she'll come on. Let me see if she'll come on today. I could talk about 1,000 things, but the thing is, it's the person, that the guest that you bring on, that enriches what you're trying to goals that you're trying to accomplish. My goals has always been to help the future generation. You're already engaged in that level. I can talk about a lot of things. I can talk about my kids, what I done. That's what I did with my kids. I got video, and I keep telling people, I don't talk about it. I got video footage of everything I talk about. If I talk about something, I don't care if it's in the news. I don't care if something I walk down the street. I got video footage of it. I got hours of it. So when people don't understand, when my son was about 3 to 4 years old, he was already reading in a book. That's the one
Mhm.
that's in the military today. When he was 5 or 6 years, yeah, no, he was still 5. He already had a savings account, you know, and these are the things that it enriches them. That means that he didn't do anything that I try to keep him from doing. It meaning that he know that something's going to happen if he did something like didn't get his homework, didn't listen to the teacher. Well, if I got a letter from the teacher, I'm not going to be on your side, because I already explained to you before you go to school every semester, you know, that you don't want to. You get your homework. If not, you don't get your homework and get good grades, then you're gonna have to go to summer school. You don't want to go to summer school.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you need to get your grades, because if you get to go to summer school, then that means that I'm gonna have to take something away from you. I'm gonna have to take a video
And that's
game.
just putting discipline in place. I feel like in this day and age that we're at, a lot of people, they don't discipline their children.
Yeah,
They just let them do whatever they want to do. And that's another thing with my program. No, like I'm old school, baby. I'm young, but I'm old school. And when my kids misbehave, I do chastise them with love
yeah.
and hold them accountable, because people want to always point out the police brutality and
Oh,
how different people are being racially profiled, and how the fatalities keep occurring, yet you're not even disciplining your children.
thank you.
You letting them go out here and run the street wild and like they don't have any sense, no home training. And that's not in every case, so please don't
Oh yeah, no.
misconstrue what I'm saying, but it's
Mhm.
like in a lot of cases, if the parents would have just been a little bit more involved
Yeah.
and reared their children and put, discipline in place, I think the fatality rate would be definitely lesser
Yeah.
because more children would be focusing on working on their gifts and their talents. They would be more connected to their purpose and they
Hmm.
wouldn't have time to be out in the street.
Hello. You
They
know.
just wouldn't.
Yeah.
And that's where everything is happening. These gangs, the people that are in the gangs, the majority of them, they're in it because they don't feel they have nobody else. They
Thank
don't
you.
have no family. They don't have anyone that is related to them, that is in their direct, sphere
Hmm.
that they feel that they have support from. So
Yes.
therefore they turn into the streets for that love and that support. And because of that, they're getting put on the wrong path. So I would just encourage parents to please, pay more attention to your children. Even for the ones that's older, don't let the world raise your children.
Hello.
We have to stand up a standard together and take our children back. A lot of people have just turned their children over to the world. They let cell phones and social media raise their children.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you're saying everything that I've been echoing ever since I've been in excuse me, entertainment. Ever since I've been a DJ, ever since I've been before I went to school. Like I keep telling people, I don't have no problem. I tell people I was in a special education class before I went to back to college or to get my GED, and I'm talking to a lot of professional millionaires and everybody. They'd be like, "You was what?" I said, I was in a special education class. Man, why you tell people that? I said, because it's the truth. Man, I ain't know you was in no special education class. The way you talk, where you articulate. I said, because if you tell the truth, you ain't got nothing to hide.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And because what you're saying to me is a compliment. When I've already met um, governors or senators or congressmen and been and celebrities. I mean, it doesn't bother me because I was in a special education class. I stayed in there till I couldn't go no more. I got out at 17, which because my birthday was July. And when you turn 18, you don't get to stay in the special education. You can't go to school in a special education
Right.
class. You have to come out. So after then, as I grew up, I worked different jobs, and I excel in whatever I put my mind to.
Right.
That's what young people do. If you give them the opportunity, they will excel because they don't want to fail. The thing is, your mind says you're not going to fail, regardless of what people used to bully me, only for a minute, you know, because I had friends that wouldn't let people bully me because I was small. When I was in elementary school, I mean junior high school, you couldn't say nothing. That my neighbors be like, "Yo, man, that's my next door neighbor right there. Make sure you look out for him," because I was short and tall. I mean, like 90 pounds. They be like,
Right.
"Yo, little man, we got you. Anybody say something, just mention my name. They ain't gonna bother with you if you mention my name." And that was because at the time, that was when S.H. Clark was open. You know,
Hmm.
that was a rough school. I went there maybe, I went there for like 3 days. My mama hurry up and got me out of there. You're not going. You're not going. So I had to be transferred to Harry Hunt. So when people don't understand this, which is no longer there, what people don't understand is if the parents don't step up and oversee their kids, we weren't allowed to go in another person's house. If I stayed next door to you or your mother at the time, you could come to my house, but my mom ain't letting me go in your house. And I would ask her one time, I said, why I can't go over there? That mom invited me. She said, it's not that you're not welcome to go over there. But say, for instance, you go over there and there's something happened. Somebody knock a lamp off or break a dish. It could have been her son that did it or somebody else's child. They want to put it on you. They might put it on you, not saying that they would, but if they put it on you, then I got to say I'm sorry or I'll try to pay for it or whatever. But if they're over here, then I'm going to walk because my mom watches everything. You go in this room and you ain't gonna be in there by yourself. You're sitting in the living room watching TV. You have to manage people. If you don't manage people, they just do what they want. And then when something happened, I never like to hit my kids. You know, there was time I did, but the way I was brought up, my mom gonna tear you up. And then when my daddy got home, she gonna tell him, and he gonna tear you up again. So it won't know. I'm gonna get around it.
Mhm.
Once my mother and them said something, that's what they mean. I don't care what it is. My mom and dad went somewhere one day, and my dad told my oldest brother, to wash dishes, and told me not to help him. And my brother kept like, man, come on, help me dry the dishes, man. Come on, so I can hurry up and finish. I said, Mom, come on, man, ain't gonna tell it. And what happened? I dropped the dish and broke it. And my sister, soon as my youngest sister that I was next to, soon as my mom walked in that door, Mama, Dad, Henderson broke a dish. And then my dad said, didn't I tell you not to help Robert? Let him do it by himself. So okay, come on in the den. He would never beat us in front of each other. He'd take us out there and spank us with a strap or a switch and say, there, go sit down. He said, I didn't beat you because you broke the dish. I beat you because you got a beating or whooping because you disobeyed what I told you. And that's the same sentiment I had with my kids. I don't care what you do your homework, listen to the teacher, and as long as you do those things, I'll get you what you need within reason, and I take you places that you want to go. And that's how I raise my kids, because like I tell them, I'm going to check you before the police check you or the judge check
Right.
you. I can't, I
Right.
can't, I can't beat them, but I can take care of it, because once they get you, they going to beat you, and it's nothing I can
And
do.
they gonna beat you unmercifully
Thank you. Thank
because they don't love you.
you. Hello. They doing
They
their
don't
job.
even know you. They're doing somewhat of their job. Sometimes, I feel I'm not even gonna say sometimes, most times people that are in prison, it's like legal slavery.
It is.
They'll lock people up for the silliest things, and then depending on the color that you are, you get a harder sentence, or you get a sentence and then the next person doesn't get one
Yeah.
just because they're a different color. So that's something that I'm very honest with my children about, because I do
Mm,
serve children of all ethnicities. However, predominantly there are African American students in my program.
right.
And especially, my boys, I tell them, you guys don't have time to misbehave. And even for the ones that are like a little older, that are not doing that well with reading, I always, have them read, even outside of school. And they'll ask me, why do I have to do this? I don't feel like reading. I've been reading in school all day. Yet you're still not proficient at it.
Right.
Because if you were proficient at it, I wouldn't be asking you to do it. See, what you don't understand, son, is they're building jails right now based off your reading scores. And
Hello.
Miss Serena loves you. She
Yeah.
don't want to see you fall behind or fall through the crack. So that's why, baby, we have to work a little harder.
Yeah.
That's why I'm having you do this. And
Yeah.
they get it, because I'm real with them. I tell them, you out here thinking that it's all fun and games, you're gonna grow up one day. You're not gonna be a child forever. And when
Hello.
you grow up, what do you want your life to look like?
Yeah.
You want to be out here like a leaf blowing in the wind with no direction, or do you want to be a strong man in your community that can help people? You want to be able to provide for your family. You want to
Mhm.
be able to be the person that people look up to, or the person that people run from. Who do you want to be? And
Yeah.
more times than not, they want to be that provider. They want to be that good person. They want to be that person that people respect. So in doing that, you have to learn that being able to read has a lot to do with that.
Yes.
Just being able to read and comprehend basic stuff. I'm not saying you have to be a physicist, or any kind of extremely formally educated person, because there's plenty of people that drop out of school and high school and end up being multi-billionaires and
Hello.
millionaires.
Yeah.
So it's not about that, but you got to have the basic understanding of reading and writing, baby,
Yeah.
if you want to be successful. So if you're in the fifth grade and you still reading on the second grade level, you got to step your game up.
Yeah.
You have to step your game up. You have to make the effort to put down the video games and focus on reading if you want to connect with that version of yourself that you see for your future. So, like I say, I just always have to be honest with my children. I'm honest with their parents as
Mhm.
well. Sometimes the truth is ugly and it hurts. Like I remember I had a few people in the past that their children weren't reading good and they got upset with me because I was trying to tell them these same things. Sometimes people just don't want to hear the truth, but I really implore that people open their minds up and take the scales off their eyes, because as a people and as a nation, we have to be able to be honest. Because if we're not honest about the problems, how are we going to find a effective solution?
Yeah.
And it just comes from just a few minutes. Take a few minutes and read with your children
Hmm.
each day, 5 or 10 minutes. It doesn't take very long. And just in doing that, you can help them build their proficiency, their comprehension and everything. If they need it'll also help you see, like, if they need glasses.
Hmm.
Because sometimes children may need glasses, they may not be able to see far away or close up. And as a parent, if you're so busy and engulfed in life and trying to just make ends meet, some of the simple things that may be obvious might not be obvious to you. But if you spend that extra time to just sit with your child and read that 5 to 10 minutes, you'll be able to see, and then you're building a bond with your child too.
Yeah.
That time, that reassurance that my mom or my dad, or my mom and my dad, or my grandma, whoever it is that's the caretaker, this person genuinely is interested in my best.
Yeah.
This
Um,
person genuinely wants to see me win.
Yeah.
And if we just had more of that, I feel we would just see everything just start to change.
Yeah. And that's the key point. You, like you said, that's why, like I said, that's why, always, since from the first time I met you, I'm like, yeah, this is the person I got to continue to bring on the show, because you're articulating the force of what the talk show is about. You're the one that's putting it in action. You're out there. You're on as the Bible says, you're on the battlefield. You're on the
Yeah,
battlefield.
we're on the battlefield. We're doing this every
Yeah.
day. I tell people we're doing the work. Like, I'm not able to do a lot of things because I'm out here doing the work. And a lot of people want to talk, like, and I've been invited to places where people want to talk about this and talk about that. And a lot
Hello.
of times I can't go. I don't have time to go because I'm out here working.
Yeah.
I'm doing the work. It's only but so much talking we can do.
Hello. You
It's
got to put.
only but so much talking we do. We got to put some actions behind our words. We
Yes.
have to come from behind our desks, come from out of our houses, come from out of our comfort zones,
Yeah.
and do the work.
Hello.
We got to do the work. And you heard that proverb, many hands make a light load.
Yeah.
So if everybody's just doing their part at minimum, it would just be so much better for everyone.
Yeah.
But it's all a part of just stop making the excuses. Stop
Yeah.
making excuses about why you don't have time to pour into your children. Pouring into your children is pouring into our community.
You-
And that's what's going to change the world.
Hello. Because you had time to make it.
You had time to make them, and a lot of them out here with plenty of time making more.
Yeah.
Making more and more and more children that you don't even pay any attention to.
Hello. Because, like you said, at least you said fifth grade, but really it starts at the third grade. I was in the third grade. I wasn't in the third grade but 2 weeks. They took me out the third grade, put me in a special education class. But each one of the special education teachers saying, Vaughn, why are you in this? Why are you in my class? I said, I don't know. They just told me to come go with them. And I did some work. The teacher sent me in the first Miss Overton in Portsmouth. They sent me to her class and she sent me to the board. She said me to do this math problem on the board. We said, okay. She'll just call it out. Said, do this one. Do this one. She said, okay, go sit down. Then after that, she called me back up to the desk. She said, I don't know why they put you in my class, but what I'm going to do, if you promise me this, if you do the work I give you, I promise to get you out of the special. education class. And I'm like, no, at first it was the ungraded. That's her class was the ungraded, didn't have no grade. So I stayed in there, I think about a year or something. Then my mom, we moved to Effingham Street because we was on Chestnut Street, and I had to move. And she said, before I left her class, after I told her, she said, Henderson, make sure you keep up with what I told you. I won't be able to help you now because you're not in my district. I
Mhm.
won't but I will make notations in your file, and hopefully the other teacher that you get will recognize what you're able to do. And I got in this class. The teacher was named Miss Darden, and Miss Darden somewhat did the same thing. She'll give me work, and she'll say, Vaughn, what grade level you on? I say, grade level? I don't have a grade level. Whatever the work she gave me, I did it. She said, if I do the same thing for here, will you do it? I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, I'm going to talk to another teacher. And the next day she came back and said, I talked to this teacher and I asked her, could you come into her class and study with them? But you can't tell nobody. I couldn't tell nobody that I was going to a regular class. So the teacher, and that was a 7th or 8th grade class. And I was about 12 years old at the time. And the teacher would tell the students, said, this young man here is never in my class. Y'all in my class every day. And he does better work than y'all do. That means that y'all are not studying. So when I got transferred, when you turned 14, you had to go to Harry Hunt. You couldn't.
Mhm.
No, when you turned 12 or 13, you had to go to Harry Hunt to middle school. You couldn't stay there. Same thing when I got there. Me and the teacher was saying, she said, I was daydreaming. I said, I'm not daydreaming. She said, stop talking back. Do the work I told you to do. I said, I already did that. She said, do the next page. I already did it. She said, bring it up here and let me look at it. If I find one wrong, I'm going to send you to the office. Then when she looked at all the work I had done, which was like 3-4 pages of 3rd grade work, I'm not doing 3rd grade work. I'm doing 8th and 9th grade work. And you got me. And then the next day she went to the office and pulled my record. And she called me back up to the desk. She said, Mr. Henderson, what grade level? I'm like, okay, here we go again with this grade stuff. Ma'am, I was in this special education class. They didn't give me no grade, whatever work the teacher did. She said, I don't know why, because there's nothing in your record saying that you did that. I said, I couldn't tell nobody. She didn't put it in there in my records. It just say I just came to class, but I was going to other classes. So, and to make a long story short, I was working the polls in Virginia Beach about 10 years ago when I was in Old Dominion. And I met her daughter that had grew up. And I mentioned, she said, your name is Henderson? Are you Henderson Vaughn? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, my mother taught you. You was in Miss Darden's class. I said, yeah. I said, how she said, my mother passed. I said, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. She said, what have you been doing? I said, well, I'm in Old Dominion. You in college? I said, yes. She said, wow, my mother is so proud of you. She always said you were smart. But I said, yeah, she let me go to other classes. She said, yeah, but maybe she didn't tell you. If the school board had found out that she had let you go to regular classes, they would have fired her. She would have lost her teacher's license. But I'm glad she would have so proud of what you've done with your life. This is why I do what I do. It has nothing to do with, you have to raise money and make money to survive. People have to understand the process. With no money, I don't care how many programs you got, they know you can't win because they ain't going to give you the bag. Because if you give you the bag, you're eliminating the pipeline to prison. The pipeline to prison is the kids that don't want to go to school, don't want to read, don't want to do what the teachers tell them. And because they had it on. They used to have it on TV. They used to have this show on TV about how they put kids in prison. They would just say,
Yes.
and they would tell them when they go to Richmond, when they go to prison. They even had that part when they walk into the prison, into that prison, they line up and they have to repeat after that prison person. You are the
Mhm.
property of the state in which you are in. You will do everything. You can't not eat, sleep, talk, or do anything unless you get our permission. You are a slave to the state. That's what it is. You are still a slave. People don't
Just
understand.
legally.
That's legal, right?
It's just
So,
a legal form of slavery. And as a community, we have to come together and we
right.
just have to break that chain. We have to break those chains of bondage through education and empowerment. So that in a nutshell, is why I do what I do. And I'm just glad we're able to come together just to, get the word out, get the
Yeah.
good news out. If there's anybody out there that's interested in connecting with me, I'll be more than happy to do that. You can put my contact information inside the chat. But
Mhm.
outside of that, you can always visit us at www.impactmind7.org.
Mhm.
And you can see about the work we're doing in the community. You can feel free to support us in any way you see fit.
Yeah.
And we, would just welcome, the conversations with other like minded individuals who
Mhm.
see the importance of investing in our youth and investing in our community as a whole
Mhm.
through strategic programming and just through other, collective and collaborative efforts. That's just really what needs to be done. We have
Yeah.
to stop talking and get out here and just continue to do the work.
Yes.
But I gotta get ready and
No
run
doubt.
today's
No doubt.
prom, and I gotta go get my daughter finished up with all of her stuff for prom today.
Okay.
So again, I appreciate you letting me take this time to come up here and to share with you. And
Mm.
I look forward to the next time that I'll be able to come back again.
Yeah. One question before you leave: are you still hiring at the daycare center?
Yep, there's our number right there. Matter of fact, yeah, we're
Mhm.
still hiring for great teachers that want to work in this ministry with us, and we're still
Mhm.
looking for, students as well that would like to participate in the program, and also looking for volunteers. Any of the students that are in college or high school that need to get volunteer hours for the summer, we can definitely help you with that, and you will get a volunteer certificate at the end of your time, that you do give. So we welcome you guys to give us a call on this number you see right here, or you can, again, visit our website, www.impact minds, the number 7.org.
No doubt, no question. I'll leave that up for a minute. I really thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule with your daughter graduated and all that. Tell her I said hello. I haven't seen her. Let her know that I'm proud of her. And I'll try to send her a little something, something, for a graduation present as well, because it's encouraging to be able to let people know that you care about them and you are proud that they made that great transition to
Right.
higher learning and but I know you have to go and thank you so much for
Yeah, I gotta
coming
go.
on. All
I'll
right.
catch you next time. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye-bye. That's Serena Mann right there, the Impact Center. You can reach out to her, and if you're interested in opportunity to be at the center and enjoy some of the things that she does. Want to say to my favorite follower, Teresa Riddick, how you doing? What's up? What's up? Ain't no doubt about it. Teresa Riddick is always a blessing to have her to charm in and always there to let people, let me know that she's there and she is responsible for caring about the love of people in just by showing up every day. What we have to do is not about us, it's not about me, it's about the responsibility of our young people knowing that somebody truly care about them. We are losing too many young people in this 757. I'll I'll say it, and I won't stop saying it, um, because I'm changing. I'm stepping away from the title of the show I usually have for this segment when I come on. But I cannot overlook the fact that this is what's going on right here in our community. We need help. We need to let our young people know this is not what we need to be seeing. We are employing news companies all over the United States to talk about this right here, that outline of somebody losing a loved one. Some mother has lost a child. Some father has been killed. Some father is in jail or incarcerated, or their son is incarcerated. It is no game when it comes to when young people don't understand that this here is more important because God gave you life and only God's supposed to take it away. You have to understand God is God. GUN is gun. Which one are you serving? One gives life and the other take it. What part you don't understand? You don't need a gun to survive. You need God because God is all knowing and all seeing. I'm moving away from that because, yes, my spirit leads me to do different things. I'm coming up with a new title for my show when it comes to youth. I'm working on introducing my new comic book real soon, coloring book. It's not a comic book, it's a coloring book. And I will be introducing the coloring book and the programs that I do real soon with the publisher that you'll be able to participate in purchasing one. I don't want to just ask for donations. I think if you can donate $20, $25, then you should be able to get something in return. If you purchase my books, if I can sell enough of them, the money, proceeds, part of those proceeds from those books are going to go in funding my program because without the book, there is no program. But there's other activities that the part of those proceeds will go in for activities for our youth to keep them engaged in what they're reading, what they're coloring. It's not about me. When you are born, you are sent to do something in life. The enemy knows that. The enemy knows who you are. Y'all sometimes take for granted that you're nobody. That's what the world teaches you. You're nobody unless I let you be somebody. That's not true. You were born with gifts. You got a lot of gifts. You have to water them. That's why the Bible say, you know, when you pray, water it. That's what a prayer is. A prayer is what you pray to your heavenly Father to water your faith. Your faith is like a mustard seed. It is so small. It is so small. Say if that was on the in between my two fingers, that's your faith. And you pray to water it. And as you water it, as you believe, as you continue to water it with prayer, faith, those two combinations, your dream, whatever you want in life will come true. No man or woman was being born to be a murderer or a killer, but you believe you are because that's what a frequency is. That's what when you sit there and watch TV over and over, playing video games, and then Facebook gonna come out with the metrics, the matter world. What do you think the matter world is? It's engaging you, your mind, your subconscious mind. You're looking at a screen, and then they turn around and tell you to make a artificial person so you can be artificial in the matter world. You can't even live in the real world, and you spending hundreds of dollars to be in a world that doesn't really exist. No, it does exist. It's your mind. It's called mind control. See, you fail to realize most of this stuff is going on is mind control manipulation. It's mind control manipulation because you don't know about it. You don't understand it. They ain't going to talk about it. Don't you know back in the 60s and 50s, they used to program people to go to a phone. And if they put a sound on the phone and put them under mind control, this stuff is real. If you ever watch any movie, don't you know you are now living that movie, The Matrix? Don't you know you are living that today? The Jetsons, when they were cartoons, we dreamed when we was kids. That was when I was 6 or 7 years old. I'm 70 now. 70, I'm 60-some years ago. They was telling you about flying cars, flying saucers. Hello. You're living in that world. Aren't we talking over the internet? The Jetsons, they used to do that. It's no rocket scientist. You thinking that this stuff just came up overnight? Your television is a transmitter and a receiver. But talking about it, people get bored and be turned off because I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that. Then turn your TV off. When you turn your TV off at night, see, night is when you're supposed to sleep and rest, to get 8 hours of sleep and be able to get up and your mind is fresh. Your mind is the most powerful weapon you got. And they told you the gun was. Your mind gives you life. A gun takes it away. What part that we don't understand? Our kids at 6 years old are killing people. Fathers are leaving guns around and their sons get them or getting shot at 3 and 4 years old. I'm 70 years old. I had never thought I would live to see a day that our kids will be doing such a thing. And we want to point the finger, turn away from our responsibilities. Our kids are the most precious gift that God has given us. Why do you think Jesus came into the world? Oh, God was getting ready to get rid of us. Read your scripture. God was going to wipe out the whole planet and start all over again. First, he did it with water when people wasn't listening to Noah. He told Noah to build an ark, and he described it. Pick up this book here and get your children to read it. See, the thing is, you read that book right there for knowledge. But in order for that book to work, you have to pray to God for wisdom. Because they both are two different things and use it a different way. The most precious and valuable thing that a person has is life. God said if you follow his commandments, you'll have life and you'll have it more abundantly. He didn't tell you about giving a bag or coming to church and donating. What did Jesus do when he went into the temple, which today is a church? He turned over the money changers' table and he said, you're using my father's house like a den of thieves. A lot of these churches and programs are asking and begging for money. But all you got to do is go and ask the church to pay your bill. Go to some of these churches and ask them to pay your rent or your light bill or your water bill. They will give you an amount of money to do it. But you got some churches out there that's doing great work. This problem is in our community because we turn our back on God. And when you do, God responds. He responds. I do this show because that's what I'm supposed to do. I do what I do because that's what I was born to do. And people might say, well, you're not a preacher. You know what preaching is? Somebody else that's telling you something that you can read for yourself. It's in that book. It's in that book called the Bible. The Bible says, let no man tell you about me. Let no man, that's the preacher, the reverend, the pastors or whatever. Let no man tell you about me. Read it for yourself. It's in scripture. So how is they going to tell you they know more about God than you do? Because you're being entertained. As true Africans would say, you are indoctrinated. You are indoctrinated to do what they tell you. I do what my spirit leads me to do because I can't say God because I never seen God. But I know he's real because when I pray and ask for things, God delivers. And those things are not of God. I try not to get involved with. I try to teach young people. If it's not of God, then why are you doing it? Why are you carrying a gun? A gun ain't stopped nobody from doing anything to you. Because ain't nobody gonna stop you from doing what you're doing unless God send an angel to protect you. That's the only way. That gun ain't saving you. You're not at war. If you want to go to war, join the military. They will pay you to carry a gun. They will send you to war zones to learn how to take life. But you're not in the war zone. You are turning your area where you live into a war zone. Look around you. Death on every corner. Because we turned away from the word of God. People doing everything but what God wants them to do. He sent warnings. He sent warnings. Because no man can control the water. He said after Noah's Ark. That's why he sent the rainbow to let you know. The world would not be destroyed by water again. God sent warnings. Read your book. Everything that's going on today is in that Bible. Read your book. We around here talk about prospering. Got to get a bag. Every time you get a bag, the man take it away. When he gave you a raise, he gave you a raise to $15 or $18. Some people paying $20. What you thought? That you're going to have a bag that you're going to be comfortable with? Oh, no. Now, inflation, interest go up on credit cards. Why don't you sit down and subtract the interest you pay on a credit card? I'll show you, for instance, because I'm not a rocket scientist. Back in the day, people used to have people they go and borrow money from. 25 cents on a dollar. 25 cents. Why? Because you didn't have credit. People that had credit go to the bank and pay maybe 2, 3 cents on a dollar. 5 cents on a dollar. Now the banks are charging 23 to 27% interest on the dollar. Now let's take 4 quarters, which 4 quarters are 3 quarters, 2 dimes, and 5 pennies. You are now out of that dollar on your credit card. You are paying 23 cents or 27 cents on every dollar you borrow. Did anybody make any money? The banks did. Did the government make money? The government did, because you got to pay taxes at the end of the year. They're going to recoup the money, but they ain't recouping it from the people that you're spending it with, the corporations. The corporations got billions, not millions. But you won't vote the people out. You won't pay attention to the news. You won't pay attention to the party that's always talking about taking away health care, talking about taking away Social Security, and then get on TV and lie to the American people with a smile on the face. Biden is lying. We're not going to touch. We're not going to touch Social Security. Why do you think they ain't passed the debt ceiling? Because they want to cut Social Security for the elderly. They want to cut Medicaid, social programming. But we get locked up in the sauce because we ain't paying attention. Because most people thinking I'm a Republican because Martin Luther King was a Republican. Yeah, he was when he was in college. But before he died, I think he said, "What have I done to my people? I had led them into a burning house," because everybody wanted to be sitting at the counter with the white people. And that's where things went wrong. Know your history. Know who you are. Know how they manipulate us. And now they are manipulating our children. Pipeline to prison. Sex trafficking. Organ trafficking. You think all these things are just coincidental when it comes to our people? You have to learn to educate your young people on voting and stop taking it for granted that the vote don't count. If it did, what happened to Donald Trump? Look what Donald Trump did when you thought it wasn't happening. When you thought voting wasn't important. Now people are going to jail that of the white race. Donald Trump is on the verge of going to jail or be labeled as the worst president in the history of the United States. You stay in the most safest place in the world until all of these guns. Black people don't own a gun factory. Most black people don't, I'm pretty sure, don't even own a gun shop. They might work in one, but they don't own it. So ask yourself, you don't own it? Then how come you're the person that committing more violent crimes? And if you ain't got violent crimes, you can't even get on the subway and be hungry and somebody take your son's life. When you got 3 people that's holding somebody no more than about 110 pounds wet, and you're saying he was a threat to everybody on the subway. He wasn't threatening anybody. He might have been yelling or screaming. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I know one thing for sure. It didn't take 3 minutes to hold him down. And why are you putting him in a chokehold? That was banned. That is already against the law, because the police in New York can't use the chokehold. And you're going to say this man has not committed a crime? The police can't even do it anymore. What are we sitting around here with this foolishness? Our young people are dying, and going to prison. And you comfortable with that. You comfortable with that. Black people don't hate people. We wasn't born to hate. We are taught to hate. And our kids are dying each and every day. Why don't you watch the news for a whole week and see who's the head story? See who's the head story on the news media that gets paid millions of dollars. I think some people would say that's propaganda, but you didn't get it from me. Remember to love yourself and put God first, and everything else will fall in place. It doesn't matter what others think about you. It's what you think about yourself. It's because you have to live with yourself each and every day. Stop allowing the world to take our future leaders, because someday I'm 70. I won't be here. And you might be younger than me. But the people that are dying are the ones that's going to have to try to take care of you. But if they're dead, welcome to the metrics. Don't forget to join me on the frequency distribution Monday through Fridays from 3 to 5. And from 5 to 6 is the Let's Get Praise music ministry. And coming back real soon on Saturdays, I'm going to be bringing back for the youth my talk show and my music show and a whole lot of other things to let them know it's never about me. It's really about them. They are the future, because I love kids and I don't want them to see them keep going down the same trail, and people keep putting things off and saying, okay, you're absolutely right. I'm not trying to be right. Like I tell people, it's how I'm set to do what I do. I wouldn't be 70 if I wasn't. I wouldn't be. If you've been through what I've been through, you would know what I'm talking about. But that's a story for another day. Thank you so much, Teresa, for asking. I will be launching that website from the publisher real soon. I spoke with them yesterday, and once they get everything in play, I will have a link for you to be able to purchase the book. And not only with the book, when you purchase it, there'll be other things that come with that $20 price. There's a lot of things I want to talk about right now, because the important thing is getting the information to the young people and to adults, because mental health is real. But again, my programs and my books, I've been talking about for years. I left the date on the storyboards that I had done with another artist that I employed to do the drawings with what I wrote. This was in 1999. So why is it almost 24 years later? The coloring book I'm putting out are stories out of 24 years old that are happening today. I didn't come to preach. I come to show you the blessings that you're already born with. I ain't did nothing that you can't do. I ain't did nothing that your child can't do. If they get love and we watch and protect them, they are the future leaders of the 757, VA, 2 up and 2 down, and the United States. Don't let them keep fooling you that they're not. The signs are in the sky. The signs are everywhere you walk, everywhere you look. The enemy is trying to destroy God's plan, but God is still in charge. Until the next time, thank you for watching. And thank you so much, Teresa Riddick.